World's favorite sport. Nearly 3 billion people enjoy soccer. That's about half the people on Earth. How old is the world's most popular sport? In 1004 BCE, people in Japan kicked around a ball. Nearly 2,000 years ago, the Romans played a soccer-like game. Teams of 27 faced one another, but play was so rough that most participants needed medical care.
The author hooks the reader with amazing statistics about soccer's popularity. She then asks a question about soccer's history that she answers with other surprising facts. Readers will be curious to learn more interesting information about the topic.
The British played a similar group ball-kicking game over 1,000 years ago. Entire villages competed against one another. This game also got very rough. There were only 2 rules: no murder or manslaughter. Eventually, laws cropped up to ban this too violent game. A toned-down version became popular among schoolboys. Rules were introduced in the early 1800s. Historians tell us that Native Americans played a ball-kicking sport too. It was called Pasukwakohowog, which means they gather to play with a ball with the foot. In the 1820s, several American colleges played a variation of the British game, but not against one another. The first college match was after the Civil War. Princeton beat Rutgers 6-4. In the United States and Canada, the game the world knows as football is called soccer. Why? In 1863, the Football Association was formed in England to establish formal rules. Players began referring to this game as association football, or soc for short. Around this same time, American football was a new sport and growing in popularity. Eventually, soc football became known as soccer, and the name stuck in North America. Meanwhile, British football spread far and wide. A world organization called the Fédération Internationale de Football Association, FIFA, was created in 1904. Other countries joined, including the United States, in 1913.
Note that the author has done a lot of research on the topic. She used books and more than one internet source to verify facts.
FIFA had several goals. An important one was to make sure the rules of the game were consistent around the world.
Informational texts frequently include some type of visual aid or graphic feature that shows some of what the author is writing about.
FIFA decided to hold its first World Cup competition in Uruguay in 1930. Uruguay was chosen to host the event because its team had won Olympic gold medals in 1924 and 1928. The South American country was also celebrating its 100th year of independence. The first World Cup was not successful, however. Only 4 European countries participated. Getting to Uruguay required a long journey by sea, and most of the world was experiencing difficult economic times, the Great Depression. 4 years later, the World Cup was held in Italy. 16 nations participated. Italy won.
The author is structuring the article with logical organization. She talks about the first World Cup competition in one paragraph. In the next paragraph, she tells about how it grew.
In 1938, Italy won again. This time, in France, 38 teams took part. The World Cup was suspended during World War II, but for the past 60 years, it has become a global event with a different country hosting it every 4 years. According to Reuters, around 700 million people watched the finals on television in 2010.
The author tells where she got the information. Reuters is a well-known international news agency. However, she is not saying it is absolute fact.
What's more, 3 million plus fans attended matches leading up to the final. Hundreds of nations have participated in the 19 World Cups, yet only 8 countries have won the title. Brazil has won 5 and Italy 4. The United States has never won a World Cup, but the team did something extraordinary in the 1950 event. It was a game against one of the best teams in the world, England. An Irish newspaper, the Belfast Telegraph, called the Americans a band of no-hopers.
The author quotes an article from the Belfast Telegraph newspaper. This is a secondary source. A primary source would have been a quote from someone who was at the game, but that was more than 60 years ago.
But that didn't discourage the American team. During the game, Haitian-born Joe Gagins scored a goal for the Americans to win 1-0. Many sports historians consider this game to be the biggest upset in international soccer. Other soccer followers say that a match during the 1966 World Cup was an even bigger upset. A low-ranked North Korean team was playing against the Italian national team, then considered one of the best in the world.
The author has included multiple perspectives with this section about another well-known World Cup upset. Players from Uruguay celebrate during the first World Cup in 1930. The Italian team won the 1938 World Cup.
Something magical happened on the field that day. Just before halftime, North Korean Pak Do-ik scored. It turned out to be the only goal. The mighty Italian team lost 1-0. To this day, for an entire generation of Italians, the name of Pak Do-ik is still a painful reminder of this stunning loss. Many of the world's greatest players have competed in the World Cup tournament. The Brazilian Pelé, considered to be the perfect footballer, participated in 4 World Cups for his country, winning a record-setting 3 World Cups. Who will win the next World Cup? Which new superstars will make soccer history? One thing is for sure. Soccer has been the world's most popular game for a long time, and many new chapters to its history are still being written.
The author has concluded with a strong ending that she hopes will make readers keep thinking about the topic or want to learn more. North Korea's Pak Do-ik was the hero of the 1966 World Cup. Pelé scoring a goal at the 1970 World Cup, which his Brazilian team won.